The majority of my prayer life consists of me just listening to God and following his instruction. It's very easy, especially in today's climate, to express your grievances to God and make your request known to God, and only talk to God whenever you need something from him, or whenever you're facing a hardship or you're going over a hurdle or anything like that. But to know God relationally, to know the relational God, and to see him as such, you'll understand the importance of input more than output, the importance of listening, feeling the convictions, following his commands, hearing and following his instructions, instead of only going to God when it is I need a way out. And as I have positioned myself to be more attentive to God's voice, his direction, the conviction, his instruction, timing, what I have experienced internally is less resistance. My will is no longer resisting God's will, his instruction, his direction. And I have allowed myself to be in not just a posture of surrenderance, but attentiveness to where I can fully receive God. I can fully hear him with no distractions. My husband booked me and him a massage. We literally just left. The whole time I was getting my massage, I was just in awe of God in flow state and everything he was depositing in me. The things that I have not expressed, the things that he's doing, the prophetic messages, everything. I just allowed him to speak. And I was so relaxed, which I thank God for that moment. And it wasn't just a massage that had me relaxed. It was the comfort of being in the presence of God. Even while I had this activity going on, it was just a comfort of no matter where you are, God will speak. This is what maturing with God actually looks like. It's a lot more quiet than a lot of people understand, because sometimes people go into prayer or they look at a relationship with God and think that it's always going to be emotionally heightened, or there's always going to be urgency, or there's always going to be a sensational experience. And that really is not always the case. When you learn to listen and not constantly just go to God whenever you're in a trial, whenever you're being tempted, whenever you realize that it's not just performance, like it's not always going to be an own type situation with God. Whenever you mature spiritually, you realize that not only being in the presence of God is a lot more quieter, but the worries, the anxieties, the distress, the frustrations, the angers, although they may be present, they don't consume you because you know God. Be still and know that I am God. You know him so well, his character, his consistent nature, his voice, his love for you. You know him so much that you don't stress and worry about it, because you know that he is God. Let me close this out because I got to go get my hair and nails done. And I've been crying a whole lot. Trying not to cry now. But this is a season where God is reducing the noise. And he's pulling me into a deeper submission to him, under him. And now I'm in this place to where my walk with God is showing up a lot more intimately than it did before. My love for God, my faith in God, my trust in God, my surrendering, my posture of surrenderance and attentiveness, my joy in God, my everything that I have surrendered and submitted now makes sense. I would never want to imagine walking a life again where I didn't have this level of intimacy with God. Because when I just gave my ears to God and didn't talk so much, when I obeyed God and stayed in my word and listened to my convictions and didn't allow people to compromise my relationship and my obedience to God, the way that just life in general changed. I ain't anxious no more. I'm not afraid no more. I'm not scared no more. I'm not worried about how people feel about me no more. I don't care about none of that. I'm at so much peace in just knowing that I have allowed God to be in his rightful position. Just took my hands off of it and I just listen in awe to God when he's in his flow state now, because God be in his flow state and he just be depositing it into my spirit and I am full.